One. Hello and welcome, and Happy New Year to everybody. I want to also welcome everyone who is live streaming with us today and to welcome you. So happy to be here with you today. And for many of you, you may not know me. My name is Reverend Zina Kacha, and this is my first day on the job. So today is the day that I have stepped forward. A few months ago, I accepted the co-ministry position to work alongside Dr. Andrea together as co-ministers of Centers for Spiritual Living Bellingham. So this is a really great New Year's celebration for myself and Patty. I want to thank you all for all the welcome that you have offered us. The love in this room, the people in this room are real community. People who support and love and nurture and spiritually walk together. So if you are new with us today, we want to bring you into that and welcome you as we were welcomed. So thank you very much for being here today. I know it's a Sunday after New Year's, so that's a big feat to arrive here in these rooms and sit down in those chairs and give your time and attention to this beautiful place that we call CSL Bellingham. Let's hear some music.
All right, well, good morning, everyone. If you're here in person and you can stand and join in singing with us, we'll do that. We'll start off with a real upbeat song. Make Me an Instrument. Well, good morning. Why don't you take a minute to greet some of those beautiful faces out there? And if you're on social media, let us know where you're tuning in from.
Face.
are going to invite any children who are here today. I at least see my child is here today. Awesome one-on-one special outdoor time. We have a wonderful kids program. We have a really wonderful kids program. They get to spend this time outside. So if you know folks, families who have younger kiddos, I know we're trying to rebuild post-COVID, and so we got to, we've built it. We've got these amazing teachers, and now we got to invite those families, and we just know that it's going to be abundant in this new year. All right. Well, let's sing.
New Year, I am today commissioner of the day. A moment, I'll pray us in with benediction. There's only one infinite power, one infinite soul, and I call it God, I call it Spirit, I call it Source. And as I look into this new year and I reflect back to 2020, I am with so much joy, so much expectation, and I align my soul to my compass and see where it directs me, see where I can be more service, where I can be more compassionate, more loving, and more of me. And so as I see this and see that in you, and together we can make a world that is good for everyone. So welcome to this place, welcome to this time, welcome to this.
Well, let's move into some meditation through music. I am listening to the wisdom of this body, and I am honoring the balance that exists in all things. I am listening to the wisdom of this body, and I am honoring the balance that exists in all things. I am listening. I am listening to the wisdom of this body, and I am honoring the balance that exists in all things. Slow my step, move with grace through each breath. I'll find my way. I am listening. I am listening to to the wisdom of this body, and I am honoring the balance that exists in all things, the balance that exists in all things, the balance that exists. So sacred, so secret, so precious, this love. So sacred, so secret, so precious, this love. So sacred, so sacred, so secret, so precious, this love. So sacred, so secret, so precious, this love. I will share, 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 I will share this love. So sacred, so sacred, so secret, so precious, this love. So sacred, so secret, so precious, this love. I will share, 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 I will share this love. So sacred, so secret, so precious, this love. So sacred, so secret, so precious, this love.
Let's, yeah. Okay, well, I was sitting there listening, really kind of grounding, and all of a sudden the sun started coming onto the property. And isn't that the way the light comes? In our deepest moments of thinking, we don't have the light, there is no light, what's happening? Suddenly there's this miracle, this spark, this kiss by the divine that just grabs our attention. And that's really what I'd like to talk about today. So being that it's the new year, we have a new theme for 2023. And Dr. Andrea and I meditated and collaborated on what's the trajectory for the community? What's the current pulse for the community? Where are we at as a community? And so, based on some previous themes, and especially 2020, which was the brink of everything. I mean, who did not feel like they were on the brink of everything, right? And then last year was grounded in spirit. We kind of had a divine download that says our soul's compass. And so this year, each month of this year and each week within the month, we're going to delve deeper and deeper into what that means. And in a nutshell, what we received from that message was that it really is that each of us has a divine GPS inside of us, right? We can call it our soul, we can call it our spiritual reawakening here on the planet Earth. There's a lot of different ways to describe it. But we felt that this was a good place to kind of harness ourselves and move forward on this territory called spiritual life, spiritual traditions, embracing those, embracing the growth and the opportunities that exist by really having a conscious awareness of the direct relationship that we have with the divine. So New Year's is a celebration. And I read about it a little bit because I wanted to kind of understand. Obviously, we have today with the ball that drops and all the sort of hoopla that happens, but it actually started many, many years ago, centuries ago, actually. And baby New Year is actually really old. We're talking like 600 BC. And in that era, infants were paraded around in baskets. And they were paraded around in baskets and celebrated to really bring the idea of fertility and gathering and exchange and festivity. So the baby represents a rebirth that happens every year. And isn't that true for us too? That every year we come here and we're like, okay, it's New Year, not here particularly, just in life, but we come to this place where we're like, wow, okay, this is going to be the year. And so what I'd like us to do, if we can, is to kind of remind ourselves that a rebirthing does not mean throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Okay? A rebirthing is actually an integration that honors what the past year has been, the struggles, the hardships, the absolute wondrous, miraculous opportunities to live and to breathe and to be in family and with close friends, and to kind of bring that all together in this collective sort of place of embracing and integrating and taking the strengths from what we have learned and using them to move through our individual path. So when I was thinking about that, I think my talk is particularly relevant to anyone who is in that phase. The phase of they sense a shift. I know I do. I'm sensing that there's something that is beyond what we see in the conditioned world. Something deeper that is percolating. And I think that it's hard also to be in that place because I know something is calling me, right? Maybe you have a divine whisper, that intuitive voice that kind of says, hey, this way. It's usually really quiet, and it usually isn't very visual yet, right? We don't see where it is that the journey is going to take us, but we know that we must embark on it. So it has some intangibility about it that can be frightening and also inspiring. And so this is why I thought about talking to us today about a new design on life. What does it mean to have a new design on our life? Because I know I've been on the planet a while, and maybe you have too, right? So what does it mean to really come to this inner knowing and this inner expression and this inner acceptance that the journey not only was challenging, but it also was in preparation for the greatest yet to be that is ours to have and ours to experience as we open up more and wider to the opportunities of living life to its fullest. And it could be for you, or maybe not, but it could be something with a relationship. Maybe there's a relationship desire, or a relationship has ended. And we have to move from the end to the liminal space of not really understanding what's next, but having the courage to move towards it regardless, without knowing. It's kind of that faith in the unseen, isn't it? So it could also be creative expression. It could be finances, or it could be work-related. It could be just this conscious awareness of our health and wanting to be healthier, not only in our food and all those external things, but internally, maybe dedicating to a spiritual practice more. Or I had a dear friend tell me this morning that, that they'd like to read more, that they love reading, but they seem to have, so much family things taking them away and other things that they've kind of habitually have been doing, that they want to do that now. They want to take their time to self-explore. I love this idea. Ernest Holmes is sort of the backing of what we are doing here in terms of being a inclusive, diverse, open, loving. He used to always say, be open at the top, to allow for that divine connection to expose itself to our conscious awareness. And he talked a lot about in the textbook, the Science of Mind textbook, in the first 4 chapters of that book, he has 86 different names for God. So, infinite, divine intelligence, the one living power, the almighty spirit, on and on and on. The one that I'd like to delve into with you today is the idea of spirit as the master architect. And I always like that because I think about our creative process in the Science of Mind teaching. And the creative process is that there's a divine all, and we all live within this field of infinite possibilities and infinite probabilities. And that divine essence is constantly in communication with us as individuals. And through that communion with spirit, we connect and we have intuitive knowledge and wisdom that is, not that it's not available, but it's in our awareness, we're not aware that it is functioning at all times. And so it's really connecting to that. And then through that connection, we're able to bring out the fruits of the things that are ours to give to the world and to our own individual lives. And he has this quote that I really, really love, where he says, we think directly from God's creativity when we conceive any new idea. God is both the inventor of a game and those who are playing the game. The author, the actor, the song, and the singer. Isn't that powerful? I love that. So when we're talking about this idea of moving into the new design of life, there's a few aspects to it, and one of them is that we have to prepare the ground. The other is that there is an essence of wisdom that is available, and many could say, in Hindu they say it's ignorance that blinds us from the blessings of the divine, or the knowledge of the divine exists. I like Alan Watts's definition. He says it's ignoring, that we are ignoring the facts that are before us. And so it's locking into that essence, that wisdom essence. And then it's applying it. How do we bring it into our individual life to benefit not only ourselves, our families, our friends, but the ripple effect of the world itself? And I think if I look into this first part of this quote, we think directly from God's creativity when we conceive any new idea. It reminds me of my life in Italy. I was raised by parents. My father was Albanian, my mother Italian, and they had a bright idea to move us to Italy when I was 8. So from the time I was 8 to 14, I lived in Rome. And while there, I was deeply exposed not only to the culture, but to my zio Tony. Now, zio Tony, zio is uncle in Italian. So Uncle Tony was a very interesting person. He was that kind of person who is using our principles, these principles we talk about here all the time, but he wasn't really aware that he was using them or didn't really connect them to anything. But you know those people, right? You see them out in the world and you're like, oh man, they've got that divine spark. You know, that's something that makes them just be kind of unique in a way. And so I remember as a child that he was very introspective, and like Ernest mentioned about the architect, the master architect, and maybe you have an architect in your life, that they're super interesting, right? Because they are this creative idea of bringing something that is invisible, not made manifest yet, and then they bring it into sort of a matrix or design, and then they bring it and they create buildings like this. Beautiful buildings that we see, cathedrals, all of those things came from that one place of a divine download. And so he had a divine download. And then I remember as a kid going in his beautiful office that, you know, had all the different tables and things that they use as architects for their schematics. And here on this wall was this really, I mean, I was a kid. I didn't know what it meant, right? And it was this very intricate, geometric and different linear connections, and didn't even have form. And as you move down the wall, you would see a little bit more of the abstract coming into form. And then from that abstract came, and we moved away at that point, but I know from the history of Zio Tony that he began to do deep work with Paolo Soleri. And maybe you know about Paolo, maybe you don't. He was the first designer of intentional, sustainable communities. And he founded a compound by the name of Arco Santi. It's actually in Arizona, and it is completely self-contained and renewable in energy and using different minerals and different things to create these beautiful wind chimes, and that's where sort of their revenue started coming from. And like a Buddhist sanctuary, people come there, scientists and people who are interested in sustainability, to learn more about the different ways that we can live sustainably. So really, really powerful, and really showed me how that essence of wisdom, if it's available for Uncle Tony, it's available for all of us, isn't it? Yeah. So the essence of this wisdom is God is both the inventor of a game and those playing it, the author and the actor, the song and the singer. How do we get to that? How do we get to that place where the first passage in this quote tells us that everything that is creative and everything creates? So we've got to remember that there's, you know, some ramifications to thinking ourselves less than what we really are, like real ramifications. because we go through that process I just described where we get that old belief of I'm not good enough, I can't do this, it's not mine to have, and we can get really trapped in not really seeing that that's not the truth of who we are. And in Ernest Holmes' way of saying it, he refers to Walt Whitman, and Walt Whitman used to say the essence of wisdom is found in loafing. Right? Right? Yeah. Isn't that so counterintuitive to Western culture? But didn't we learn that in COVID, if we were to say there's a silver lining? We started to learn to be quiet and to reflect and to not be so busy-minded. These are the gems of integration that we can bring forward into this year. That idea of loafing. I love that. Let's loaf together. What do y'all think? So for me, when I know I'm unloafing, which is like I get really busy with things and I think that I have to get so much done and there's just, a list. I'm a list person, I'll admit it. I always come back to this one place. And it's that not so much loafing, but quieting myself. Quieting myself and what I call putting myself back into myself. And it's such a good practice. And it's a practice I'd like to, share with you right now, that it's something that we can all do. Putting ourselves back into ourselves is putting ourselves back into the S is the capital S, the big self, that self that is the wisdom of the ages that is available for us, that we actually can grab out from the ethers and bring into existence through just having receptivity. I know it sounds simple, and it's not, but it is. And so it's a practice, and that's why we were talking about what are we preparing for in this journey. Preparing for the journey means preparing ourselves first in body, mind, and spirit, and knowing that we will be challenged. We will also be rewarded in great ways that we do not even understand yet, and we will have companionship along the way. We're never alone. Look at this room. Right here, if you go home tonight or in the days to come and you think, God, I wonder if am I alone? Remember, there's so many individual lights that are now sparking and creating additional lights that are turning on, and we're teaching each other to turn on our lights. And this is happening globally right now. We are part of something so vast and so amazing. The biggest opportunity of our lives is right here and right now. And I'm honored to be here to talk about this, to be this, and to express this, and to share whatever it is that I have to share, and to listen to the wisdom that you have to share. And that's where we come to the applying the wisdom. How do we put this application, wisdom applications, into our lives? And I can't help but to think of chapter 9 of Acts in the Bible. And it's the story of Paul. Okay, and here's this guy on a horse. And he's, riding to Damascus. And he's ready to go, kick some you-know-what on some Christians. And he is one-minded in that, because his very dear friend Stephen was stoned. So in his mind, he is justified in lashing out. And riding along, here he is in this open field, and this light just comes, and it literally knocks him off his horse. And he's laying on the ground, blinded. He can't see, and he can't get focused. And then suddenly, he has sight. So how do we apply wisdom? Is to remember that we were knocked down too, sometime, someplace in our life. And we transformed from that. And each transformation is a victory for all of humanity. Because as we learn together how to allow ourselves to up-level our consciousness, and that's what happened to Paul. His consciousness was up-leveled in an instantaneous moment where he saw things differently. And that's what we get to do, see things differently every day that we embrace transformation. We bond together, we work together, and we walk together through the territory called the spiritual journey. Let's close our eyes for just a moment and think about that, the architect, the master architect. And I'll just bring us through a short little visualization and prayer, and we'll close. Okay, so just bringing that in. Just quieting the mind. We're loafing for a moment together. Yeah. And that essence, that wisdom essence. Let it just come down like a soft raindrop. Breathing that in. That's preparing, yes, preparing ourselves. In the essence of wisdom, ask the question, what is mine to do here with my transformation? Being with that just for a moment. And now I'm just honoring that and knowing the application is already made so. Just keeping your eyes closed as I close us today in prayer. Just coming into this oneness, this atmosphere of good that is all around us, where the master architect is doing its bidding, making it all so. The visible, the invisible, the beyond, the beyond, the beyond. All of it is spirit. I know that I am one with it, and I also know that each and every one here, online, throughout the ages and throughout the world are one with this mighty force, that its essence of wisdom is seeped in the indigenous, in the traditions, in the awakening that is happening on humanity right here, right now. We're ready for this. We apply it. We make it our own, and we live it. And for this, I am so, so grateful. I just ask you to say with me now, and so it is. Thank you so much. I'm going to ask the ushers to come up. We just want to thank you for all of the giving that this community does in time, attention, treasure. I mean, many of you may not know that all of the grounds are taken care of by volunteers. The sanctuary, all the architecture here is done by wonderful individuals who just want to give to this beautiful community, and we appreciate all the giving.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh yeah, everywhere I go,
Okay, so I have some announcements for us today. One of the ones that I think is really cool is today, right now, after service, our prayer practitioners will be available for individual prayer for anyone who is desiring to just kind of come into the new year with an intention or something that they're desiring. And so right after service, we'll have a greeting area here at the door to the classroom. And then you'll be instructed or brought into the classroom to meet with a practitioner. And you'll be able to have a time to ask for your intention and to have a beautiful prayer done on your behalf. This is also available, hi you guys online. This is also available online if you go to our website at CSL-Belling, no dash, we stopped that, cslbellingham.org, and you can click there. There's an online button available for prayers of intention. So please do take this opportunity, not only taking the opportunity, but also really giving them the opportunity to do what they have studied to do for 2 years. And after license, we have many practitioners who've been licensed for years, but it is a really powerful thing to have someone know for and about you the reality of your life that is divine and wonderful and beautiful. So take them up on that. I am teaching a class called Visioning, a Way of Life. And, thanks to Zio Tony, I have a lot of ideas around visioning and making it a way of life. And this is a 6-week course, and it begins next Tuesday, January 10th. And it goes from 6 to 9 p.m. And I have the honor of having Andrea Wood assisting and being a co on that. And we'd love to have you join us if you're interested. The Help Me desk here at the back of the room can help you get more information about visioning class, what you will need to participate, and how to register. Volunteers are needed for Family Promise. And there's a call out here for help on January 9th. Patty, can you put your hand up? See Patty if this is something you'd like to do. Not necessarily January 9th is covered, I believe. Is that correct? Yeah. January 9th is covered, but just ongoing, Patty is organizing individuals who will participate in Family Promise. It's such a valuable program that we support here at the center. We go out about 4 or 5 times a year. We shop. There's a list provided for the items that the families will use to make their own dinner. And the individuals who volunteer shop for that list and then deliver it to the homes of these young families who have been transitioned from homelessness, unsheltered, to having a home. And the kid, we've done it a few times, and when you go in, those kids' faces are just so lit up. And, we put little snacks in there that probably shouldn't be in there, but oh well. So please see Patty if that is of interest to you. Men's group, show of hands here. Our beloved Philip facilitates that group. This is a great place for men to meet, and it meets next week in the back room on January 8th at noon, so kind of sort of directly after service. This is also a hybrid version, so you online, gentlemen, if you're interested in participating, January 8th, integrated offering, a men's group to support you in your spiritual development and to just share some of the different things that happen through your journey. CSL Bellingham redesigned website. Aha, Philip, you got to stand up for this. Come on. This site looks cool. It's a great site. CSL, I have it right this time, CSL Bellingham, we don't have a slash anymore, .org. Please do go to the website and check it out. You have a really, like a 50,000-foot view of everything that's happening at the center. Sunday is just one happening. There's drumming, there's circles, there's all different kinds of classes. and meditation groups, sanghas. I mean, it's a really rich community, and we'd love you to go there and check it out and find out all the details of what we offer here at CSL Bellingham. I'd also like to mention that we have a pop-up event. Can I have the events team stand up, whoever's here with them? Okay, so these folks have been organizing different sort of events, and they'll also be the steering committee for any events that we have going on throughout the year. And we have a lot of really cool things happening, especially without COVID. Well, that was kind of a misnomer. You know what I mean. Now that COVID is at an area where we can gather again, we have beautiful ceremonies and different things that will be happening throughout the year. And one of the ideas they came up with is the pop-up events. And these are spontaneous pop-up events where there's a special outing that happens. And you can kind of sign up today if you're interested. And it's a happy hour and Banff Center Mountain Film, Penny Farthing Restaurant for happy hour, I'm sure, and film at Mount Baker Theater. It's Thursday, January 19th, 5 p.m. And then in addition, there's a $15 donation for CSL for helping with different things like the children's program, and we'll just kind of align those funds to any kind of things that are a little extra that we can add a little cash flow to. Go ahead and stand up, Robin and Jean, and if you are interested in this offering, please see them, or you can go online and get their contact information. Okay, I think that's about it. What do y'all think? Are y'all ready for this day? Happy New Year. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
All right, well, let's sing out into this day. Anything is possible when you believe. You know anything is possible when you believe. You can make a mountain move when you believe. Oh yes, you can make a mountain move when you believe. Don't you know that you can change your life when you believe? Don't you know that you can change your life when you believe in yourself? In yourself, when you believe in yourself, when you believe in yourself, when you believe in yourself, when you believe, I'm gonna make a miracle when you believe. You know you're gonna make a miracle when you believe. And everything you want, you got when you believe. You know anything you want, you got when you believe in yourself. In yourself, when you believe in yourself, when you believe in yourself, when you believe in yourself, when you believe. Here we go now. I believe in me. Look at all you beautiful faces. Believe in you. We believe in each other. There ain't nothing we can do. No, 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 no. I said I believe in me, and I believe in you. We believe in each other. There ain't nothing we can do. Oh, anything is possible when you believe. You know anything is possible when you believe in yourself. In yourself, when you believe in yourself, when you believe in yourself, when you believe in yourself. Oh, yes. Thank you so much for being here today. We'll see you again next week. 1, 2, 3.